Well, welcome back to my channel, everybody. Chris Gault here, Healthy Living with Chris Gault. And today I'm going to get back to regrowing the hair. And I know I've gone over several steps. I'm going to go over the steps that I've talked about in the past, and then I'm going to talk about something new that I learned, and I'm going to talk about it right now. All right, so if you actually looked at my older videos when I first started the channel and progressing through it over the last year or so, you'll know that I have multiple ways to help regrow your hair. I don't have a lot of hair. I had no hair on the top of my head. I do have some hair now. I'm obviously still on the journey to get it back. I have a long way to go because I need to get it in the front here. That's where I'm struggling with a little bit. But what I talked about in the past, I just want to let you know, and I have separate videos on all of these, and you can go back and look at them. The first one was the massage method, and that is how you can break up calcium and sebum in your scalp that's keeping your hair from growing. So you massage your hair and your scalp, and you can beat it up. And I have videos that show you exactly how to do that. And that actually helps your hair really come back. That's probably one of the most proven methods of getting your hair back. Then I went into Derma Rolling, which actually helps out, and that's a micro needling on your scalp. And you can look at that video, and that really does help get blood flow to the hair, and that's what it really comes down to. It really comes down to getting nutrients to your head, to your scalp, so your hair will actually grow. Talk about the inversion method, which is actually getting your head below your heart, and so that blood rushes to your head, and that way you're getting, again, more blood to the hair. So there's a pattern here. And then there's hair masks, so that if your hair gets brittle or dried out, there's hair masks that help make it grow with oils and things like that, and you can look at that one. And then I had another one on other tips, like not to use too much heat on your hair, don't shampoo your hair every day, things like that that really help out in keeping your hair strong. But today I'm going to talk about one new way that I've learned as I've gone through, because I keep researching this topic, and there's one new method that I want to talk about, and it is scalp exercise. Yep. So you're probably going to wonder, like, what the heck is he talking about? Scalp exercise? Has he lost his mind? Maybe he already lost it a long time ago. That's probably what you think. I probably have because I keep doing things like this, trying to grow back my hair and trying to keep myself from growing older as I age. But I hate to accept the fact that I have to just go with what nature takes you to, and I like to think that we have control of our lives. So yes, I probably have lost my mind, but I'm going to talk about scalp exercise a little bit and how it might be another method that you can implement in your hair growth technique that might help you get your hair back. I just started it. I'm going to see what it does for my hair, and if you try it out, hopefully it will work for you as well. So let me show you what I do. Okay, so I also have a theory on this. It all comes down to, can you wiggle your scalp? And I think we've seen people who can wiggle their scalp. And what I noticed just by going on the internet and looking at all sorts of data on this is that you could see people who actually have a lot of hair tend to be able to wiggle their scalp really well. And that's just like being able to move your scalp without touching it, you know. And I'm not really able to do it that well. But what I'm doing is I'm starting the exercises now, and I'm hoping that it will help me in the future, and that once I can really get that scalp flexible and being able to move, that my hair is going to grow more. It also gets blood to the head. So, you know, obviously blood really comes around because of muscle. Muscle brings blood to the area, and unfortunately you don't really have a lot of muscle up on top of the scalp. And if you look at anatomy charts of the head and muscles, you'll see that there's not that much muscle up here. And I think that's why we lose the hair up here before we lose it here, because the muscle, the blood just doesn't come up here as much as it does around here. So what I'm learning is that there's an exercise you could do to wiggle the scalp, and if you can wiggle the scalp, or at least try to wiggle the scalp, then it's going to bring blood up there. It's also going to loosen up the scalp, and then eventually the scalp is going to you're going to be able to do it. And it's just like when you work out with weights. Like let's say if you're curling, and you're curling, your arms are small because you never curled before. Let's say you haven't done curls ever, and then you start doing it. Well, then your muscle is going to build up over time. So you can actually build, even though there's a small amount of muscle up here, not a lot. You can actually build some muscle up here, get some blood flow, and get that to the hair. So that way, you're doing the scalp massages to get rid of all the crud that's up there, all the calcium and the sebum, excess sebum oil and all that. You're doing that to get rid of that. But then what you need to do is build the muscle up a little bit so that it brings blood flow to the scalp. So what are the exercises? Well, I'm just going to show you how I do it. Most people would do it where you lift your eyebrows and then you bring them down. And what you're doing, and you can't really see my scalp move probably, but I guarantee you, if you watch some other people's videos out there on scalp exercise, you'll see that they can actually move their scalp very well. The ones who actually have hair can move it really well. And so that's why I think that theory out there is that, it's funny how the people who can move their scalp have hair and the people who can't move their scalp don't have hair. So what it's going to take is a lot of practice. And what I don't want to do is get a lot of wrinkling hair though. So what I like to do is I'll stretch it out a little bit, put my finger there, and then, I'll lift up my eyebrows and bring them down. Now, what I'm hoping for is down the road I get good at this and you'll actually see the scalp move more. But I could feel it. I could definitely feel it, and I actually feel it get warmer up there, and I think that helps. And I think that doing that, along with doing the massages and the Derma Rolling and the Inversion Method, doing some oil masks once in a while, and then making sure you don't wash your hair too often, making sure that you're not using a lot of heat and all that other stuff, all those other tips that I had. I think incorporating all of that along with this exercise is going to help get my hair back. And you could tune in and you could see as I put videos out, you could see if it's actually working. But I actually do have more hair than I had back a couple of years ago. 3 years ago, like I said, I had no hair on the top of my head. I do have some hair now. And when I started this journey about a year ago on YouTube, you could see that I had some hair back then, but I probably have a little bit more now. Still working on it, but at least it's not going away too. I'm not losing hair and going back to having nothing up there. So it looks like it's working at least a little bit. I still have a long way to go, obviously. Like I said, I really want to cover up this part of my head. I think that would be fantastic if I can do that. And anyone at any age can do this. I'm 59 years old now, but I start losing my hair in my 20s. So if I knew all these techniques back then, I think I would be much better off because I wouldn't have lost it all in the first place. So I'm coming from way back here. I'm coming from like having no hair on the top of my head and growing it. But I would say if you're starting to recede, your hair is starting to recede, and you're in your 20s or your 30s or your 40s, then you might want to think about incorporating these techniques into your routine, and that way you won't ever get to the point where you completely lose your hair and then have to really fight the battle to get it back, because I think it's a lot easier to keep what you have, or to if you only lose a little bit, to get that back than it is to come from where I was coming from. Or the more let's just say the word bald, but the more bald you are, the harder it is and the longer it's going to take to regrow your hair. And hair takes a long time to grow. It's not like it's something like you're gonna do this exercise and then the next day you're gonna see, wow, hey, wow, it all grew back. You know, it's not going to take a day, it's not going to take a week, it's not going to take a month, it's going to take a year, you know, or so to really get some good results. So, and that's what it took me. It took me about a year and a half before I really started to really cover up the bald part of the top part of my head. So anyway, give it a try. I think it will help you. It helps me, I'm sure. And keep looking back into my videos, and you'll see the progression. I'll also put some updates on it as I go, and you know, hope the very best for everybody. I know the coronavirus pandemic is making it very interesting life for everyone, you know, and not in a great way, but we are learning some new things, which is good. But I hope that everyone stays safe and that we get past this soon and we get back to a normal life, because, you know, we're social animals and we need to have that to stay healthy. And so I know we found interesting ways to stay healthy and socializing by doing Zooms or just being, you know, keeping the distance. But we're kind of the kind of people who like to hug people, shake hands, all that kind of stuff. And hopefully we'll be back to that soon. So anyway, if you like the video, subscribe and you know, subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get notifications every time I put something out. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I really hope the very best for everyone. See you later, everybody. If you like this video, please click on the thumbs up button, and also please subscribe and click on the notification button to get all this great content that's coming up every week. Thank you.